All right. People sending this to me. Talking about J.D. Vance. Rolled up on Kamala Harris. And Air Force Two. Let's check this out. See what I think. And maybe even you. Excuse me. Thank you. That time it didn't want to even pull up. I tell you, my John love freezing now.
Well, we are less than 2 hours away from former President Trump's news conference. No word on when we will get one from Vice President Harris. We are counting. No word yet, though. She hasn't stopped for a news conference, hasn't sat down for an interview, no freewheeling questions, absent one after the hostage release, and that's since joining the top of the presidential ticket for the Democrats. Here she is, dodging reporters, which she's been doing for almost 3 weeks now. Well, yesterday, her plane shared the tarmac with GOP vice presidential candidate J.D. Vance, who figured he'd do the media's job. They're not demanding press conferences. So what did he do? He rolled up to Kamala's plane to ask why she's been dodging the press for the past 18 days.
Hey guys, how are you?
It's just kind of funny to me. I, been on this earth 47 years, and I've noticed how a lot of black lingo has gone mainstream. So much of the stuff that we say has just gotten into just everything, all the way up to politicians say stuff in their lingo that black people were saying for years. It just made me think of, she just said that he rolled up on her. That's what she just said. I'm like, I was hearing that when I was a kid, the street term. Yeah, they rolled up on him, and beat him up and ran his pockets, They shouldn't have been running his mouth. I'm just like, wow, it's just so much, so much lingo in the zeitgeist, in pop culture, just everything. I'm just like, Jesus Christ, like black folk was saying that like years ago, and now you'll hear other cultures saying it, and they never did say it. You know what I mean? Just thinking of stuff. You know what I mean?
I just wanted to check out my future plane, but I also wanted to go and say hello to the vice president and ask her why Kamala Harris.
My future plane. I just got that. Wait a minute.
Refuses. So wanted to go where I am.
Dodging the press for the past 18 days.
Hey guys, how are you?
Yo! Yo! He rolled up like HR. Hey guys, how are you? Hey, Tyrone, could we see you in the office real quick? It won't take long. All right. Hey Tyrone, how are you? Close the door behind you. Yeah. Why you got him with you? Listen, the position isn't really working out. We're gonna have to let you go. We'll give you a reference though. It's been great working with you. It's just things aren't really working out.
I just wanted to check out my future plane, but I also wanted to go say hello to the vice president and ask her why Kamala Harris refuses. Why does she refuse to answer questions from the media? And I also thought, and to answer some questions, and so I thought her reporters might actually benefit from that as well. So had a little bit of fun. I don't think the vice president waved at me as she drove away, but I'm glad to have done it. And I'm glad to be here in Wisconsin actually trying to persuade people to vote for us as opposed to just giving another scripted speech.
So this is brilliant from J.D. Vance.
As opposed to just giving another scripted speech.
This is brilliant from J.D. Vance. He took questions 3 times in 24 hours.
Boy, oh boy.
He did a gaggle. He did 2 press conferences. He rolled up to the plane, demanded to see Harris, demanded to have her take questions.
I've seen people talk about this over and over and over. Tell you, I do a 5-mile walk every day, and I have a chance to listen to a lot of news and other things that I like to listen to. I have YouTube Premium, so I can just listen to it that way. But anyway, no, YouTube didn't pay me to say that. But, yeah. People are just saying that she can't do nothing without looking at a teleprompter. And I'm just like, man, she's going to have to come out and say something.
But Kennedy, this is happening.
Now, J.D. Vance did come to say it to your face, Kamala. So you're going to have to say something. Like 50 Cent said, you got to say something now. You got to do something now, baby. You know what I mean? I forgot what track that is. He was dissing a few people. And he was just like, so.
Because the media is allowing it to. They are not demanding a press conference. They are not demanding interviews. In fact, here's a CNN commentator. Here's her hot take on J.D. Vance and what he did yesterday.
I'm sure whatever it was, he was disrespectful or something like that. Oh, no. Accidentally muted it. Don't do that, T.
This.
J.D. Vance and what he did yesterday.
So many people will be turned off by this. Literally, the stalking, it's like Donald Trump walking behind Hillary Clinton during...
By the way, I saw this in real time on Twitter first. All the mentally ill over on Twitter. You know, it's like you see their profile, you literally realize that they need help, mental help. You know what they look like. You know what the majority of every single one of them look like. You know how they behave. You know they were never the popular kids. You know that they don't have a ton of friends. You just know that there's issues there. There's insecurities. There's a bunch of stuff like that, right? And I noticed that people that were against all the woke garbage were like, yo, these weirdos, man. Like, yo, they're weird. And it's true, right? Now, there's conservative people that are weird too or whatever, but the majority of the time when you're seeing people that are all for that, something's wrong. You know what I mean? And then on Twitter, I don't know how long it took. It took weeks, maybe months. All of a sudden, they started calling people that weren't down with the woke garbage weird. They tried to flip the script, which you know, it's like you line up the majority of people on earth that are not down with the woke garbage, and you line up all the people that are straight up gung-ho for it. You know who's weird. You absolutely can see it. When I saw her say that J.D. Vance and Trump or whatever it was weird, I was like, here we go. This is a talking point. Everybody's gonna start saying it. And they did. And I just thought that was so interesting because come on now. All of society knows that they're the weird ones. We know this. Okay. Now, I saw another video too when they were talking about Walsh, when she picked Walsh. All the news, just a compilation of all the news talking about he's cuddly. He's cuddly. You know, everybody's cuddly. It's like, whoa, they are so on point. Now look, this happens on both sides, but I don't know why I see it more on the left. Maybe because, I don't know, maybe they do it more. I don't know what's up, but it's so cuddly. He's so cuddly. He's so cuddly. He's so cuddly. I was like, oh goodness. But anyway, this whole race is so strange. Oh God.
the debate. How dare you, right? This is the vice president of the United States. It shows a lack of respect. And
I told you.
Women, this is
what did I tell you?
Women's rights, our sense of selves, our sense of not having people control our bodies and not having people control us. And so that's that.
How about you don't control the bodies also that are developing inside of your bodies? How about that? How about you give them a fair chance at life? Nurturers? Okay.
That's like stepping into her territory. It's this very the physicality of it is supposed to send a message.
I mean, what was that?
I don't know. Is there a Make-A-Wish program in the hiring department at CNN? What was that woman saying? At least word salad seemed to be contagious. But, you know, she's like, how dare you? How dare you not talk to the American people? How dare you not be...
She look like she a DJ with them frames. Don't she? She look like she get the party rocking with the one ear.
challenged by journalists. I think the vice president really needs to sit for a hard-hitting interview, considering the very, and I'm going to use the word curious circumstances at which she landed at the time.
It's my girl right there on the left. Wonder Woman of news. Right there. Don't tell Scarlett.
Top of the ticket, and that's a very gracious way of describing her coronation, but she does need to answer for a lot of her past policy positions. It seems like right now she's ducking a debate, and she hasn't taken some incoming from the press that's covering her, the gaggle that goes with her, and they have to be feeling the frustration. You know, there are commentators like that who joke about J.D. Vance's stunt, but there are people on her plane covering her who would really love to have some answers, and so would their readers and their listeners and the voters, and it's incredibly disrespectful to be ghosting all of them in this manner.
You know, Larry, having been with former President Trump, like, yes, people have stump speeches, but that man knows how to ad-lib. That man knows how to get off a teleprompter. He knows how to add new things into the teleprompter last minute. I used to sit with this teleprompter guy who would literally take things out, add things in. It was like a real-time editing process. For Kamala Harris, though, here's one thing I've noticed. I was sitting on my couch reciting her speech, and I've only seen it 4 times. Watch.
You know, I didn't even know that they could do that. You know, I figured just teleprompter ran your script and then that was it. You can edit it real time. I mean, it makes sense with our technology that you can. I just didn't think that they did that type of stuff. You know what I mean? Interesting.
Only 4.
Only 4.
Before I was elected vice president, before I was elected as a United States Senator, I was elected Attorney General, and before that, elected District Attorney, and before that, I was a courtroom prosecutor. So hear me, Detroit, when I say, I know Donald Trump's type. So hear me when I say.
Oh, I saw this last night.
I know Donald Trump's type. So hear me when I say, I know Donald Trump's type. I know Donald Trump's type.
She got the old school. Don't she got an operator voice? She's got an operator voice, right? A lot of you Gen Zers ain't gonna even get it. Back in the old days, before cell phones, we had a telephone. And the telephone, the old ones was rotary. You had to pick the number and sometimes you needed to speak to the operator, maybe to connect you with someone. Or, matter of fact, back in the old days, crazy girls, if you was on the phone before we had call waiting, if you were on the phone and you were on the phone with somebody else and you had a crazy girlfriend that thought you was cheating, you could call the operator. You could dial 0 to speak to the operator. I wonder if you can speak to an operator nowadays. Maybe you can. And the operator could do what they called an emergency breakthrough. Cut into your phone call like, sir, you have such Tiffany on the phone that needs to speak with you. It's an emergency. But when you call 0, they'd be like, hello, operator. They would have operators had a certain stereotypical voice you would hear it in cartoons or movies sometimes. She reminds me of that.
I mean, hear me when I say, get some new lines.
Yeah.
She said that real slick and aggressive. Get some new lines.
Word salad. By the way, I once taught the teleprompter operator how to work the teleprompter in the White House because he couldn't coordinate.
He looked like he owned many companies. He got the jaws and everything.
Wow.
Trump learned that very well.
You know who he reminds me of? Go watch Mo Money. Damon Wayans goes on a job interview where he lies his ass off about who he knows and everything. He reminds me of him. Go watch it right after this. Look for it. Mo Money job interview. Look, you'll know it when you see it. Don't tell me he don't remind you of him.
Can I just say, the star of that show, or the star of this segment, is J.D. Vance, who is really starting to hit his stride right now. I had him on our show for a quick phone interview. I watch him out there. His messaging is coming terrific. He's talking about economic growth.
He's got a good breakfast commercial voice. Breakfast or cigar commercial, cigarette or beer commercial voice. He got a good voice like that.
And tax cuts and deregulation, all the things that Kamala Harris doesn't want to talk about. By
Hickory Farms bacon. He got that type of voice.
the way, I have not heard the term Bidenomics lately. I don't think that's in her teleprompter. I'm on a Bidenomics hunt. I can't find it. It could be Kamalanomics. But she has a lot to answer for, and she doesn't want to answer for it. You've got the wave of inflation, which is so damaging to middle America. And lately you've got a wave of unemployment, which is so damaging to middle America. She has to be held accountable to that. Sooner or later, she's going to be held accountable to that. And that's when Mr. Trump will strike, and you may hear some of that today at his presser.
So Playbook pointed out that Kamala Harris has entertained a sit-down interview with Tim Walz, and they thought about doing this. Then they decided there's not an upshot to it. And then they decided that a longtime Harris ally suggested Harris could hold off on big interviews until after Labor Day. There's really no need. The person said the voters that she needs are at the local level. They're not reading the national press. Here's the line that stood out to me. What is the incentive for her to take more questions than a person close to the campaign? She's getting out exactly the message.
When did that come out?
This morning.
This morning. Okay, so what else is going on today? Official statements from the Harris-Walz campaign about his military service and all of the controversy that's around of him right now, mainly coming from criticism from military vets in Minnesota, by the way, his home state. Yeah, they can't sit down now. And I heard you say, because I watch you, you called what we're in right now an affordability crisis.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
I knew this wasn't.
And she didn't
Oh,
talk
it is
about that
720p.
Because
Well,
she
say
hasn't
it's.
owned what got us here, and the word
This should be
inflation
clearer
starts to
than
get
that, but
rather nebulous.
I guess
now.
it's only
Let's just call
720.
it what it is: an affordability crisis, what Larry Kudlow called it, and also a point where the American dream is slipping away. She's not going to have that raw conversation with us, and I don't think that more liberal-leaning Tim Walz can have it either. With lockdown, lines where you turn in your neighbors if they're, call in if you see a neighbor not wearing a mask.
Kids can't afford homes. Kids cannot afford
That's a
homes.
heartbreaking situation.
Kids also can't afford a mortgage if you can get a mortgage on a home. Home
High
prices
interest.
are too high.
I know a younger chick out of college with loans and came and live on her own, man. It's wild.
Is part of the inflation problem. Look, paychecks have been shrinking during Bidenomics or Kamalanomics or whatever. Paychecks for ordinary middle-class people have been shrinking.
But
and I gotta say, the reason Trump holds a big lead on the economy and on inflation is because during the Trump years, paychecks exploded. They got pay raises. Under Biden and Kamala, they got pay cuts.
All true.
This is so important.
All true, but we don't get to talk policy until the top of the ticket inserts themselves. And we've got a 2 p.m. Eastern Time press conference from Donald Trump. The all-consuming goal of Trump needs to be to talk about the economy and to force Kamala off the teleprompter. Force her off. Challenge her to a debate. And I've read reporting he's going to do that, and maybe multiple debates. Do it today. today. I want an economy debate. A single
debate
issue.
right now, you're saying. Debate
right now. Make it an economy debate. Emily Campagno.
Exactly, before the DNC. Look, the reason why she hasn't held a proper news conference or feels that she has to debate or answer Americans' questions is because she doesn't need to, she feels. And that is the biggest hallmark of all. As she cited earlier, you elected me XYZ. Note that she is citing the position she held, not her accomplishments that she did while she was in office. It is all about checking boxes, omitting the box that got her to that first one, as you pointed out, but not anything that she's actually done. There is no experience being cited, and that's why she fails. The notion, too, that this media is both protecting her, which is the verb that's been put in black and white, by this silence, and also failing to ask the questions is laughable. We have these pundits saying that she's not allowed to, or he's not allowed to go on the tarmac. She owns the tarmac now. It's a physical emblem. At the end of the day, she has only demanded respect. She has not earned it. And that is why she will fail. We need to understand these policies, but at the end of the day, look, all of these people at her rallies, they were voting for Biden too. So what we need to do, what Donald Trump needs to do in the GOP is harness all of those hardworking men in America who are either undecided or who were independent, who see that under this administration, the economy, the foreign policy, all of those important big ticket items, they trust Trump, 3 digits higher plus.
Yep. 2 p.m. Eastern Time, President Donald Trump will take questions. Kamala Harris won't. He will. He did it last week, too.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern.
Duly noted. So, Magnusites, what is going on here? Very, very interesting. So now I guess we wait to see if she's going to do any talking. Well. She got an operator voice and JD Vance is straight up HR. 10 million subscribers. Woo!